And today marks an important step forward in uniting our country as Alberta joins forces with Ontario to pursue our shared goals of economic growth, opportunity and prosperity. We're signing 2 memorandums of understanding that will see us advance pipelines and pathways to boost exports of homegrown energy and critical minerals to markets across Canada and across the world, and work collaboratively to support both Ontario's automotive industry as well as Alberta's liquor manufacturing industry, industries that contribute substantially to our provincial economies. We know there's strength in taking a united front, but we cannot achieve our shared provincial goals without cooperation from the federal government. It's vital that the federal government gets fully on board with creating the conditions necessary to strengthen Canada's economy and competitiveness, improve investor confidence, and grow productivity. Ottawa must answer our calls and remove all federal barriers that have harmed Canada's ability to grow the energy sector and other industries such as mining and manufacturing. And this includes, but is not limited to, repealing or amending the Impact Assessment Act and the oil tanker ban. We're also working to repeal the net zero power regulations and the proposed oil and gas production cap. We also call on the federal government to repeal their electric vehicle mandate that comes into effect next year. Last year, only 4.2% of the cars sold in Alberta were zero-emission vehicles, and the federal government's EV mandate says that 20% of cars sold in 2026 must be zero-emissions vehicles. We buy about 200,000 cars, so that would be about 40,000 cars. So we would have to buy nearly every single zero-emission vehicle manufactured in Ontario last year to hit the 20% target, and we're just one province. So removing federal barriers will allow Alberta and Ontario to attract investment and project partners we need to get shovels in the ground, grow industries, and create jobs. I'm excited to continue collaborating with Ontario so we can reach our shared goals, including to advance pipelines and responsible energy development. I am also pleased to partner with Premier Ford to support the growth of 2 other major industries of significance to Alberta and Ontario. The second memorandum of understanding outlines Alberta's commitment to explore ways to prioritize the purchase of made-in-Canada vehicles for our government fleets in a show of support for Ontario's automotive industry. And it sets the stage for Ontario's government to work with Alberta to explore ways to find additional opportunities to improve the interprovincial trade of liquor products to create even more opportunity for our producers. Today's signing marks an historic partnership founded in a mutual ambition to reach the full potential of our provinces, to grow our list of global customers for our energy resources, and to achieve long-term prosperity for all Canadians. I'll now turn it over to Premier Ford to speak more about today's MOUs.
Well, good morning, everyone. And boy, I've had a great time here in Alberta, and I love Calgary and the people here. There's an amazing group of folks that live here. It's my pleasure to be here with so many members of our government. I know you run through them. I'm going to run through them one more time. Minister Lecce, Minister Surma, Minister Thompson, Minister Oosterhoff, and PA Will Boma. I want to start by thanking my friend Danielle, Premier Smith. Thank you for hosting us with this great city of Calgary and mine. You know, I got to tell my friends in Ontario, you want to come to a happening place, come to Alberta, come to the Stampede. You're going to have a great time in this beautiful province of Alberta. It's absolutely stunning here. Nothing showcases the wild rose spirit like the Calgary Stampede. The people of Alberta have been such gracious hosts. Thank you for your hospitality. Friends, I'm here with Premier Smith today because it's never been more important for Canadians to stand united from coast to coast to coast. President Trump's tariffs and the economic uncertainty they've created, they're hurting workers and businesses in every part of our great country. Steelmakers and aluminum workers in Ontario and Quebec, fishermen and women in British Columbia and Atlantic Canada, farmers across the prairies, including right here in Alberta, miners across Canada's beautiful north. No region has been spared. In the face of uncertainty, Canadians are coming together to stand up for our country and build a stronger, more united Canada. That's why just a few weeks ago, Premier Smith and I were in Saskatoon to sign a historic agreement to unlock free trade between Alberta and Ontario. We're doing this because we need to unlock the full potential of our economy. We need to tear down the barriers and red tape that have held us back for far, far too long. We need to make Canada more competitive, more resilient, and more self-reliant. We need to build the future for Canada where we can proudly stand tall, strong, united, and independent, so we can stand up to President Trump's tariffs and anything else that comes our way. That's what brings us here today, to sign 2 new agreements between Alberta and Ontario that will open access to new markets and create thousands of new jobs across Canada. These agreements are transformational. Ontario and Alberta are working together to build new energy and trade infrastructure, including pipelines and rail lines, so we can unlock the full potential of Canada's economy by diversifying our trading partners and bringing our natural resources to new customers and new markets. Built using Ontario steel, new pipelines would connect Western Canadian oil and gas to existing and potential new refineries in southern Ontario. They will also expand export opportunities, bringing Western oil and gas to new tidewaters right across the world, including by way of a potential new James Bay deep sea port in northern Ontario. New rail lines would connect Ontario's Ring of Fire region, critical mineral mining projects, and processing facility to Western Canadian ports as we build an end-to-end critical mineral supply chain. This is how we diversify our trading partners. This is how we make ourselves less reliant on the United States. As we build the future of Canada, we will always meet our duty to consult with Indigenous partners and support their involvement with historic funding to help First Nations become equity partners in these nation-building projects. This agreement is a big step forward. To succeed, to build a more competitive, resilient, and self-reliant future, we need the federal government to do its part. We need the federal government to cut red tape and bring regulatory certainty so Canada can attract the kind of private sector investments that will be critical to build this energy and trade infrastructure. No one will build a pipeline to tidewaters if there's a ban on tankers. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard, a ban on tankers. No one will invest in opening a mine if it takes 15 years to get it to yes. It's time to end excuses, and it's time to start building, and we need to start building now. As part of our agreements today, we've also agreed that Alberta will prioritize Canadian-made vehicles for its government's fleets. For our part, Ontario will support the increased availability of Alberta beer, wine, and spirits, and they have some great wine and spirits and beer coming. You could just see it outside. Everyone's having a few cold ones on Ontario store shelves. Friends, this is how we protect Canada. We need to protect together to unlock the country's full potential.
Yeah, you can put them up and then look at these two perfect. Let's camera here first. Camera here first. Yes. 3, 2, 1. That's perfect. Thank you. That's great. Thank you very much.
That's a beauty. That is a beauty. Thank you. Oh, that's great. I see a lot of Four Nation people here, so I'm taking this copy off. Hold on. help you get this off.
Good job.
Let me tell you a funny story yesterday, Okay, so we're sitting at the table, and I just got this belt buckle. See, it only has two little things and a big gut like mine. Pop these things out. So as soon as they said Premier Ford come up, bang, my belt buckle fell off. And that was it. I was doing.
So we had George just whipped the belt right off, and he whipped the belt off, and I was saying to Scott, if this pants falls down during
I'll tell you, that would not be good. I have a body like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but pretty good. I had it right with the first one. There we go. There we go. That's it. Crazy group. That's beautiful. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, this is a beauty.
And let's get that.